What's good, brothers and sisters? Chris here from Namaste Gaming, and today I want to talk to you lovely folks about the patch that just dropped in Black Desert Online. Now, just a quick heads up for those of you who don't know, BDO is my current MMO home. I'll save the explanation of why for another video, but if you want to add me, my family name is Shintao. That's spelled S-H-I-N-T-A-O. I'll mention it again at the end of the video, promise. If you're new to the channel, I used to do these sorts of videos pretty regularly when I was playing Guild Wars 2, and the timing just felt right to get back into it. Enough setup though, let's talk patch stuff. Alright, so this is the much hyped Mediah update. Now I know that's going to trigger some folks, but there's an NPC in game that pronounces it that way, so I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one. But anyway, it adds a bunch of cool stuff to the game. The Mediah region itself increases the size of the world by about 30%, and obviously they're not just going to have that as empty space. So Mediah is packed with over 1,000 new quests being added, guild missions and bosses, a bunch of new knowledge to acquire and NPCs to win over through the Amity system, a brand new and allegedly crazy powerful world boss called Kazarka that drops some of the best gear in the game and has a very scary one-shot mechanic, and of course a bunch of new gear, including the versatile Grunel armor set that a whole bunch of folks are going to be clamoring to get. The thing that is most exciting to me though, PvP junkie that I am, is the 40v40 PvP battleground called the Crimson Battlefield. I believe in game it's actually right now labeled the Red Battlefield. Chalk that one up to a poor translation. But this is a 20-minute deathmatch with semi-equalized stats. Specifically, no one gets their shit toned down, but if you're a weak little undergeared nublet who struggles against even con mobs, you'll get your attack and defense stats boosted to level the playing field a little bit. To make for longer fights, everyone also gets a plus 1000 HP boost, and if your team is sandbagging hard, there's also a nice little underdog mechanic that'll give you a Hail Mary plus 500 HP boost on top of that, so that you can maybe push to make a comeback. You get something called red seals for participating. Winners get 6, and the less fortunate side walks away with 2 for being good little practice dummies. And you can spend these on PvP specific consumables. It's a nice little closed loop system for people who enjoy instance PvP, and as one of those people, I'm very excited to give it a go. So that's a quick summary of the permanent content that's come to the game recently, but there's some event content as well. From now until the 4th of May, the Cherry Blossom event will be going on. It's pretty low key, but if you're into the gathering or farming side of the game, it'll be up your alley. Essentially, you can loot cherry blossom seeds from dry thickets, wild herbs, and desert herbs. These can be cultivated in your own personal garden or sold to a vendor for 10,000 silver. If you cultivate them in a garden, you'll get unwithering cherry blossom petals, which you can either eat for a 30-minute buff that gives you a bit of a minor boost to attack, movement, and cast speed, as well as critical hit, HP, and MP. Quite a good boost there. Or you can exchange 10 of them for a cherry blossom pot to decorate your home, or for 30 you can get a cosmetic cherry blossom earring. I think I'll probably try to get a few of the pots while the event is active myself. I mean, it's always nice to have some plants around the house, right? Right. Now, I am still just a pleb in this game at this point, but one of the main things that won me over and got me as interested in this game as I am is the exploration. Most MMOs feel like you're on a linear path from shit tier to god tier, and most of the journey has already been planned out for you. This game doesn't really hold your hand in any way, to the point where you either have to embrace that helpless sense of wonderment or immerse yourself in the guides and spreadsheets of those who came before. Regardless of where on that spectrum you find yourself, the amount of content that this patch adds is incredible, and for a game that is this new to the Western world, it's nearly unheard of to receive this much content this quickly, and for only a $30 box cost on top of it. This is straight up value country, boys. Now, that said, I am going to be straight up with you guys. Unless the prices change or something I consider pay to win gets implemented, I will not be covering the cash shop content for Black Desert. I feel that their pricing is exploitative and the lack of visual customization outside of the cash shop is lacking in a big way that kind of funnels you towards spending more money on the game if you actually give a shit about your character. I have no desire to provide that kind of model with free advertising. I'm not encouraging anyone to boycott it. If you think it's worth and you can spare the cash, then you do you, boo-boo. But I just wanted to be clear that I disagree with the current cash shop model, and I won't be covering it beyond this little blurb. So hopefully you guys understand and respect my choice on that. Moving on, some cool item changes have been implemented. Alchemy just became a lot more valuable with the addition of marking reagents, which counter the cash shop ghillie suit that some people felt was kinda pay to win, verging on it at the very least. Anyway, also alchemy stones, which I'm sure I'll have more to say about later on, but for now my understanding is that they're a staple of the game in the Korean and Russian versions, and function similarly to trinkets from World of Warcraft. Also, the Easter eggs that were making PvP nigh unplayable have had a cooldown added, so, you know, no more unlimited lives in PvP. Almost as notable as what has been changed item-wise is what hasn't. There was a lot of uproar prior to the patch regarding the upgrade cap on gear being potentially raised. In case you're new to Black Desert, weapons and armors are upgraded through the Korean MMO standard of gambled upgrades. I know, I don't love it either, but it's there and it's a little bit more reasonable than the average game, so you know. Anyway, the current cap on this one is plus 15, and a lot of folks have not gotten there yet. It costs several million silver and a good bit of luck to get there, and in Korea, the Mediah update raised the cap to plus 20, so a lot of us plebby casuals were concerned about being even farther behind than we already are. Thankfully, Dom listened to player feedback and left the cap at plus 15 for the time being. Don't know for how long, but that's where it is for now, so we've still got a little bit of time to catch up. While it's still definitely too early to judge whether Dom is going to do a good job of listening to player feedback and making changes accordingly, this combined with the Easter egg changes and the addition of the marking reagents definitely makes me feel like they're making the effort. Finally, just a couple of quick notes under the class changes section. Rangers have undergone a bit of balancing, taking a slight hit to their mobile damage, specifically the evasive shot follow-ups, in exchange for a bit more damage with some of their less mobile abilities, namely Charging Wind, Dagger of Protection, and Will of Wind. Just a heads up, I haven't really had a chance to play my Ranger yet, so if I'm off base on this one, please do let me know. I'm interpreting it as best I can through the build calculator, but that might be slightly lacking. And also, if you main Ranger, let me know in the comments if these changes qualify as an overall buff or nerf to the class, because it does seem rather ambiguous in the notes. A class I have played a bit of, Berserker, appears to have gotten an across-the-board damage buff, which is exciting to me because prior to this, I felt like all my Berserker was good for was consuming my excess HP potions and looking a lot tougher than he actually is, so hopefully this will be the boost he needs to justify me leveling him to cap. General consensus is that this buff was much needed, as Berserker's damage was relatively lacking compared to most classes, and was certainly lacking for how squishy the class is. All in all, it's a huge schwack of content being added to a game that certainly did not lack content to begin with, and I'm really excited to dive into it. If you're playing, like I said earlier, go ahead and add me, Shintao family, spelled S-H-I-N-T-A-O. Primarily playing on the Eden server, but I've got alts everywhere, baby. So don't you worry if you play on another server, I'm sure we'll get to chill eventually. That's going to be all for this one though. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and click the like button, or if you thought it was ass, feel free to hit the dislike button. Either way, I'd love to connect with you in the comments, so hit me up there when you're done watching. If you're new around here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and if you've decided you absolutely must get as much Namaste gaming as possible, make sure to follow me on Twitch and Twitter as well. Much love to each and every one of you beautiful humans. Stay black.